Hi guys, Spencer$3 here, welcome back. We've had an update in Clash Royale. We've had nerfs and buffs galore, and I've decided because we've had a buff on the witches of 17%, that comes on top of a previous buff that we had, it's time to bring back Doc Dollars, or at least kind of a ghost of Doc Dollars, onto my main account and try and build a deck using the witches. And guys, I think I've stumbled upon one very quickly. Now, I don't want to waste the princess and not use her, so I am using her in this deck, kind of replaced her with the wall breaker. I've got rid of the wall breaker, put the princess in instead, and I've replaced the giant with the royal giant. And instead of, I think I was using barbarians last time, we've now got a minion horde, and this seems to be working out pretty good. This was my second battle against Utsav. The first one I beat him, it was my first ever go with this deck, and then on my second attempt, I'm just about to beat him again, which I was quite surprised. He's got a lot more trophies than me, so I was pretty happy with the way that this deck has been working out. I guess partly due to the fact that I know how to handle this deck, but if you guys did use the Doc Dollars deck lower down, and now you're hiring trophies and you've had to use something else, you can probably get the handle on this deck very, very quickly. And it's a lot of fun because you can get a lot of troops onto the screen at the same time. It is similar to the Doc Dollars deck in that it does get better and better as you get to ×2 elixir. So what you need to do is try and keep your towers alive. You don't want to lose a tower because especially with the Royal Giant around these days, and it's pretty powerful, you don't want people being able to place a Royal Giant on your side of the screen. But I've got a Royal Giant in here instead of the Giant, and it's pretty powerful. Look at that, I've got his tower already, not a lot of damage on my towers, and I'm still not at ×2 elixir yet. Now the witch is great against the prince. The skeletons distract it, and now with a 17% buff, she's pretty awesome. And I always add the archers if I feel I need a bit more firepower. But look at this, Utsav has got 2 elixir pumps, but he still seems like he's behind on elixir to me. And that's the great thing about this deck. The idea with this deck is to preserve your troops as much as possible. Wherever it looks like you may be about to lose a troop, there's always another troop you can use with this deck to try and keep them alive. And one of my favorite cards now has definitely got to be the Knight. The Knight, for what he costs, he is so powerful, and if he manages to get onto a tower, he does a lot of damage as well. Here comes the prince and a goblin barrel. Witch and archers are going to take care of all of these troops all at once, and another goblin barrel coming, and still all of those troops all together didn't get the tower down, and all I lost was an archer. Lost a bit of energy off my witch, but that really doesn't matter. As long as there's a tank in front of her, she's going to do the damage that you need. Get the royal giant out straight into the middle, got the princess behind, try and get rid of this bomb tower, and look at this, he's in really big trouble now. Even though he's got the extra elixir, even the arrows are not going to get rid of the witch. Most people's fireball won't get rid of my witch. There we go, that was pretty easy. If we had that carried on any longer, we would have got the 3-star. So I did challenge somebody else, and Siok Asian. Now, in fairness to Siok, he was also testing out a new deck. A lot of people are testing out new decks right now. So we took on the challenge, let's give it another go, and after this one, I decided to take this deck straight out into trophies. I was messing around in trophies recently, lost a lot of trophies playing with decks. I couldn't find one that I enjoyed playing with. And now here we go, we're going to see that the Knight comes into its own pretty good against the Valkyrie. Got the princess, got to try and keep your princess alive as long as possible. And there are a lot of ways you can do that with this deck. All of the troops seem to complement each other really well, just like the Doc Dollars deck. I still haven't decided when to use my fireball yet, or when to use my minion horde on the barbarians. That maybe was a mistake there, I don't know, but it still means that I've got my fireball ready. Should I need it, I can hit the elixir pump and the tower. Obviously, Siok was quite impressed with that, so I am slightly ahead at this stage. Somebody's firing the confetti on his side. Why don't you want me to win? Guys, what I can tell you is after this, I did battle about 4 or 5 more times in the clan, and I didn't get beaten at all. I was winning every single one, so I'm pretty happy with the way this is going, and we'll see how we fared going straight into trophies with this. Here we go, we've got princes on both sides. Not entirely sure why we've got the Valk on the side with the splash damage prince. That probably doesn't make as much sense, but look how powerful the Knight is. He's taking them both on. Managed to get rid of the Valk, and he's taking on the Dark Prince now. Unfortunately, his prince did get to my tower, caused a little bit of damage there. Try to fight back, and my princess, she's walked a little bit too close. She's gone down. It's so annoying, isn't it, when you get one princess versus another princess, and you don't quite get that last shot off, and the other one stays alive. Ugh, drives you crazy. Then you have to drop troops to try and get rid of it. Okay, this Valk's not going to manage to get past my minion horde. Here we go. Bit of a fail there on the zap. Missed half of my horde. dropped a princess to defend, but a little bit late, got my fireball out quickly, hit the tower. That's the great thing with this deck. If you did use the Doc Dollars deck, this one is pretty easy to get a hold of without having to do a whole bunch of practice raids. I was able to get a hold of this maybe straight away. I won my first battle and my second one. Unfortunately, I am starting to get a bit overwhelmed here. Don't really have anything I can do about this. My fireball isn't ready. Too much princes, too many princes, and a princess at the back. Now, I had to drop my minion horde directly on the princess first, had to get rid of them, couldn't catch up with the prince, and he did get my tower. Angry face, but look how much stuff he's got over jammed in the corner. Ideal target for a fireball. Tempted to fire the fireball at the barbarians, but probably wasn't worth it. Get rid of the princess, get rid of the elixir pump. Don't want him to get too far ahead on the elixir, but I have been finding, guys, even when people are using elixir pumps, because this is a slow build-up deck, you can compete with them, and you don't always have to take out their elixir pumps. Sometimes you can get ahead of people even when they've got 2 pumps going. Get rid of that princess. Here we go, ready for the counterattack. This deck is great on the counterattack if you can manage to get a build-up. You can probably use this with a normal giant, just like the Doc Dollars deck. I've not actually tried that yet. I am going to play around a little bit with this, but I do plan to use it to go back to Legends. And it is, the main thing about it for me is it's so much fun to play. And that's what keeps me playing the game. If I really enjoy playing the deck, and if I lose, it makes me play again straight away. Look how many troops we've got on the screen at once now. It's all going a little bit crazy. Trying to keep my witch alive in the background. Minion horde defending. Even though we've got a zap on that, not going to be a bit of a problem until the minion horde gets to the other side. Here we go. Got my royal giant in. Dropping the royal giant on the other side. Everybody knows how overpowered that really is. And his tower's going to go down. And that worked out pretty well. I was pretty happy with that. So here we go, guys. Let's go into trophies and let's see if we can stop someone touching my towers at all. We can't touch this. Here we go. Right, so I'm up against Kua. Now, Kua has got a whole bunch of legendaries lined up for me here. I've got a Sparky, I've got an Ice Wizard. Let's see how we can get on with the new Doc Dollars deck 2.0 on my account, of course. So he's going to use a giant. Now, I'm not always entirely sure the best way to deal with the giant yet. Having played with this a few times, does seem to be okay to use the knight with a witch behind. I don't like to fight the giant on their side though, because often it means I can lose some of my troops, but I got my fireball in. I wasn't ready for the Sparky to be dropped, so I unfortunately didn't cause any damage to the Sparky. So here he comes, looming down on my tower. Can we stop him getting any hit points on my tower? I need to get rid of this Ice Wizard so that I can drop something, stop this Sparky. Ice Wizard's just gone down in time. Unfortunately, he's always got the spirits, and look, we just managed to get rid of all those troops. Chris crying. I've got the thumbs up. I'm pretty happy with that. Not a single bit of damage off my tower. See if we can get to the end of this without him hitting any of my towers. That inspires you with confidence if you can manage to do that. And if we do that, I think I will try and push to Legends again today. I wish I'd never lost those trophies. I'm so stupid. So guys, if you've been wondering where the videos are, by the way, I've had a few problems again, but I have managed to finally pinpoint what the problem has actually been. So guys, I haven't actually met any yet, but the update does mean that we're going to have buffed mortar. It's going to be deploy times decreased by 1 second from 5 to 4. Same, what's happened to the Expo? We've done something to the Expo. Lava Hound damage is increased by 28%. I don't actually have a Lava Hound, unfortunately, otherwise I definitely would be using that. Goblin Barrel spawn time has decreased by 1/5 of a second. Not sure how much difference that's going to make. Might see more P.E.K.K.A.s, 8% damage increase by P.E.K.K.A.s, and the Prince damage is increased by 9%. I haven't actually noticed that, but maybe it is going to make a difference for some people. But most people were using Hogs. They're decreased by 6%. That might make a little bit of difference. Again, I haven't noticed it yet whilst I've been battling, but definitely the witches, I can tell that they're more powerful. Skeletons now, because it was only 1 elixir and you're getting 4 skellies for that, you now only get 3 skeletons. That was probably a good idea. They were pretty powerful. And cannons hit points decreased by 8%. Tesla's increased by 8%. So now they're kind of similar. You can choose whichever one you want. I'm still seeing people using cannons. I've not met a single person who's used a Tesla yet, but maybe that's just force of habit. Not entirely sure. Here he goes. Look, he's building up all of his troops now. He's really going for it. He's going for the super push, trying to hide his Sparky with a giant, sticking in some barbarians, trying to annihilate my witch, but you can't touch my tower. I'm not going to let you touch my tower. Trying to get my troops spread around my base. That's the thing with this deck. You need to try and get your troops spread around so you can't use fireballs and arrows on them, because some of them are a little bit weak, like the princess and the minion horde. But the witch is pretty hardy. There we go. He didn't get a single hit off on either of my towers. took him down fairly easily. Was only a level 8 to be fair, but I am going to be using this deck, guys. I will be making a couple more videos on this. I hope you enjoy it as much as many of you enjoyed the Doc Dollars deck. It really is a fun one to play, and I'd like to see a couple of people getting into Legends using that one. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being so patient with the videos. I will try and get them back up and running now. I've had to go back to my old video editor because the new one is broken. But thank you guys so much. I'll be back a little bit later. I'm trying to get some new videos out on the new games as well. I'll have a lot of new games probably when I get back. Until the next time, you guys. Send everyone!